How's everyone doing today? So we've had some requests on a little review video of the Cat 306. Better yet, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of our 2014 Cat 304 as well. So the first thing we're going to talk about, guys, is what the reach is on each machine. Dealerships usually tell you what the reach is off the center of the house, but we're going to do it off the blade to show you real life what you can actually reach if there's an obstacle in front of you. And then we'll spin each machine around and also do what it would be not blade side as well. So what do you got for this one, Ed? The 304 is
13 foot 3 inches.
Let me spin around, it's kind of hard to see from this side.
13 feet 3 inches, and that is with a 2-foot bucket with teeth on, and that is from the blade to the end of the teeth. So now we'll do the 306. It's got the same bucket, 2-foot bucket. Here we go from the blade. And we are at like 16 feet, a half inch.
Yeah, I'd call it that.
Yeah, 16 feet, a half inch with brand new teeth.
Now, just to clear this up, guys, quick, the buckets for the 306 look very similar. The pins look pretty close, but they are a little bit different. So all the buckets are completely different for the 306 and the 304. Just wanted to clarify that. All right, guys, so the other way with the boom spun, the track and reverse, we'll go with that. So that's as far forward as you could possibly get on an obstacle. And the reach this way,
you're 14 feet 7.5 inches. The reason we're showing you this is because we end up in what we do, there's so many obstacles. So a lot of times we dig with the blade behind us because it gets us closer to where we've got to dig. And we'll talk about that some more. I mean, you can't always worry about so much getting into an area as being able to reach into an area, because say you have a narrow machine that gets into an area, but you can't put the dirt anywhere. So therefore, it's more important to us to be able to.
Yep, I'm lined up.
You good?
Yep, as far as forward you can track.
Now
what do you got this way?
17 feet 4.5 inches.
Yep.
To the end of the teeth. So like I was saying, we've demoed machines that were real small that we could get into tight areas. But once we got in those tight areas, we couldn't do anything with the material that we took out of the trench. So we found that being able to reach into that area and then to be able to swing around and get rid of that material and then bring it back in later is a better option for us. Having a 3-foot wide machine and be able to snake in between everything, that's great. But if you've only got 3 feet of width and you're digging a 3-foot deep trench, what are you doing with your material? You have nowhere to put it. So it's better to have the reach and sit back and reach in. So that's why we're showing you both sides, because manufacturers only show you off the center of the house, and that's not really a good indication of how far you can actually reach. This is.
All right, guys, now we're going to do a little comparison on the tail swing, on whether these machines are true counterbalance, zero tails or not, sorry. So the Cat 304 has about
100%.
100% is, and you have about an 1/8 inch inside of the track frame. Now the Cat 306, clearly you can see it's not, but we'll get you an actual measurement on that. Now this is without the counterweight. Eventually we're gonna have to get one, but not yet. What do you got there?
14.5 inches.
14.5 inches.
Right. The manufacturer is gonna give you off of the center of the
house.
The house. Well, real life is 14.5 inches. So if you're within 14.5 inches of something, you're gonna hit it. 14.5 is all you have from the edge of that track when you spin.
And eventually we are gonna get a counterweight. We have a job coming up for it. which will mount right there. And we don't know what, I'm assuming Cat does offer different weights, right?
I'm not sure.
Huh. But once we get into that, we'll get a video out on that once we get it. But that's a little bit of a ways away.
We have a bin block wall to install along a stream, and this machine's rated to pick up 7,800 pounds. But I think at full reach, it'll get tipsy. So we're gonna go ahead and get the counterweight, and we'll probably take it off and put it back on, depending on what our need is at the time.
Well, that job with Billy, remember, was lifting you off the ground.
Yeah.
With
With a full bucket, with a grading bucket, full heap, and you're spinning over the side, it'll pick you up off the ground.
All right, guys, now we're gonna get into talking about some of the specs on these different machines we got. We're gonna get into how much they weigh, the overall width of them. And they actually are pretty similar in width. So the blade width is what we're going with.
78 inches is the width of the 306.
Now the width of the 304 is
76 1/4 or 3/4. So the 304 is only 1 1/4 inches narrower than the 306, which is unbelievable. I mean, when you're on the 306, it feels like so much bigger machine compared to the 304, but it's really not any wider. I mean, you do have to watch that 14.5-inch tail spin over the side, but you can really get this 306 in a pretty tight area, and it's substantially more power.
now the 304 is sold by Cat as their 4.5-ton machine.
9,000 pounds. In the book, I think it says 8,700 and change, but with a coupler and the thumb on it, which is not accounted for in the specs, you're right around 9,000 pounds total. The 306 in the book, they show, I think they're like 15,500 pounds, which they're telling you that this is their 12,000 pound class, 6-ton class. This machine, because we went with the all rubber tracks, not the steel with the rubber inserts, with how we have this machine configured, we're right around 14,500. We saved about 1,000 pounds not getting the steel undercarriage and not getting the counterweight.
Now, so everybody knows, when you order machines, they don't come fitted with the hammer and a coupler. So mostly, I don't know about other machine brands, but I know the Cat tells you the different weights on everything. So the coupler, you gotta add 138 pounds. The thumb, you have to add another 201 pounds. Now, that does include the cylinder, because I've looked that up before. So that's with the cylinder. I don't know about the hoses, but I don't know if that's the truth or not for the hoses. I can't talk on that. Now, what would you say the lifting capacity of the 306 is?
It says in the book 7,800 pounds.
7,800. So you could set bin blocks. That's the reason why we got it. Now the 304, the lifting capacity of that would be.
You have to look it up.
You have to look it up.
I'm not sure.
You don't know?
I'm not really sure. It will not pick up a bin block, I can tell you that. It'll drag one around, and you can move it if you have to, but it's not going to load it on a truck, I can tell you that. Or take it off of the truck. But I can tell you this, it'll pick up a whole 500-foot bundle of Schedule 40 pipe. We've got videos out of it doing that.
To end the video, just want to let you know that any of these two machines we'd buy again. Sadly, you can't get the Cat 304s like this anymore. Now they're a little different. They're not made the same plants, and they're just not the same. We've gotten them and returned them because we hated them. So
we're waiting on Cat to come out with the 304 CR model. When they come out with that, we will purchase one.
If you guys want to know anything else about our machines or our attachments, please leave it in the comments. And we're going to be coming out with a little bit better of a video on each machine independently. If you guys want to see that, let us know. Thanks. Have a good night.